Hi, welcome to my home. My name's Mike, and if you watch this interview you will see appearing some very, very nice furry friends. And I have quite a varied selection. Not necessarily teddy bears themselves, but it's the things that go with teddy bears. Maybe books, maybe clothing, as you can see, pictures, all that type of thing. Over 30 years ago, some friends were going to America and asked me what I'd like them to bring me back. And I just said, oh, bring me back a teddy bear. And I started from there. It's a pet without being a pet. You don't need to walk it, you don't need to feed it. As long as it gets a nice little cuddle now and again, it's happy. And it just sits in the corner and keeps quiet. You know, I suppose because it's a Steiff and it's come from a very special friend, it's my little white one at the end. He's a nice little fella. He's a Christmas one, but he's a lovely little fella. And as you notice, he's getting ready for Christmas. Originally, a Steiff with a little button in the ear originally was an elephant. But now it's just a little button which is in the ear which denotes a Steiff, and they can be quite valuable, especially an old one. The last Steiff that went up for auction was a 1900, and that only made 200,000. The buttons are always in the ear here, and that's how you can tell your Steiff. Oh, I tell you, the teddy bear's for more than life. Yes, he might even come with me. You never know. Oh, well, this little fella is from one of my godsons, and this is Biker Bear, and he actually is a Scotsman as well, and he was bought in about 20 years ago. I'd taken my godson up on holiday to Scotland, and that was his thank you to me. He's now a 35-year-old married man, and whenever he comes to see me, he always checks to make sure that Biker Bear's behaved himself and still in the same place. Well, this is Chocolate Bear. This is Mr. and Mrs. Chocolate. Well, these two came from a couple that I met on holiday about 8-9 years ago. The good lady of the party took poorly, and I ended up sort of being, as I seem to always end up doing, sort of sorting things out, and this was a thank you. And then you notice one's got a brown ribbon and one's got a pink ribbon, and they actually smell of chocolate. Most of them have actually been given by somebody, and I can remember the person that's given to them, and some people have passed on, and it's nice to sort of remember them by. You can think of that person when you're sort of wandering around dusting. I won't say how often I dust, but not too often. This was some material a friend brought back for me from America. This was worn at Christmas when I did the reception at St Gemma's Hospice, and it just helps to cheer everybody up. There are such things as bear fairs, definitely, and there's bear parties where you can go up into the woods and take your bears for a picnic. Haven't actually been on one, but I know people that have. Yes, there's one at Harewood House most years where you take your bear for a picnic. And you go out into the woods and you have a picnic with your bear, and he joins all the other bears that have come to see him. This is one I actually did buy myself. It was at a fair up in Grassington, and it was supposedly one of the old ladies in the village that had made it, and I thought, well, he looks different. I've never seen one of those before. I'm sure I can find a home for him. So he's come and joined my lot. I've had him over 20 years, so he's not fallen apart, and there's nothing crawled out of him that shouldn't have crawled out of him, so he must be very, very good. You can even take a teddy bear into the bath. Well, I've got several black bears. It's quite unusual. This fella, he's a recent arrival. He's nice and cuddly and soft. Well, this little fellow actually plays the bagpipes. I don't know if he still manages to do it. Plays Scotland the Brave. Why he's dressed as a green bear, I don't know, but it's got the Yorkshire Rose on it. And that's your little Welsh bear with his little Welsh coat of arms on him. And of course, being a Scotsman, we've got to have a Scotsman. It's a little blue bear with the flag of St Andrews. The word teddy bear actually comes from President Roosevelt, who was out hunting, and there was a small bear was going to come out, and instead of shooting it, he let it go, and that's where the little teddy bear was made, and his nickname was Teddy, so that's how we got teddy bear. I've got the small ones, I've got silver ones, and on the back wall you'll see loads of pins which I wear in my waistcoats. I've also got all the books. You get tea towels, you get mugs, and there's another rack of them in the hall which are all the miniature ones. And we also have some nice silver ones, and we've also got a few crystal ones. So it goes right across the board. The teddy bears will be around long after we are all gone. They'll still be there. Yes.